Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning in to Amtv Alternative Media Television. It is, of course, Monday, September 30th, 2013. Breaking news. Breaking news. U.S. police obtaining military-style vehicles to aid hunt for criminals. Or could there perhaps be another reason at large? Now, of course, I did a breaking video earlier this morning, very early in the morning, titled Warning Government Shutdown to Collapse U.S. Dollar. Of course, the national debt is skyrocketing. The stock market is operating on a Ponzi scheme, as well as capital markets in general, not just here in the United States, but throughout Europe and much of the world. But here we have a story from a mainstream media outlet, Fox News, titled U.S. Police Obtaining Military Vehicles to Aid Hunt for Criminals. So what does this mean? I think we should do some critical thinking here, because the hunt for criminals, why? Why would the police in the United States need military armed vehicles that they use in Desert Storm, places like Iraq and Afghanistan, that can withstand IEDs and bombs and men with guns? $600,000 plus vehicles. The United States seems to be arming up with. Now, of course, I did a report several months ago where I saw one of these MRAPs, one of these military-style vehicles outside of Tucson on my way back to Phoenix. It says here, "Don't mess with Texas" has assumed a whole new meaning in Dallas. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office traveled to Fort Hood this month to acquire its own bona fide military vehicle, the International Max Pro MRAP tactical vehicle, courtesy of the Department of Defense Surplus Program. According to the Dallas Observer, so they're picking these up in Texas. Isn't that interesting? One of the biggest liberty states in the country. If there was a civil war or martial law was declared, you would have more freedom-loving, gun-toting Americans in Texas and Arizona than any other place in the world. And sure enough, this is where they're arming up with these military-grade vehicles. I don't know what they're prepping for. I mean, they tell you you're insane if you prep, but they're prepping with $600,000 MRAP vehicles that they use in a war scenario to fight terrorism overseas here domestically on our soil. Isn't this interesting? At a time when, of course, the dollar is collapsing, the economy is running on thin air, the U.S. government is about to shut down any minute now as we approach midnight. You have Breaking Bad. You've got pictures of our dirty politicians here. Senate kills bill to fund the government. Dems vote to keep tax on medical equipment. While these scumbags, whether or not it's a bomber or carry, fly around in the world in their private jets and go on like everything's normal. So this, to me, just doing critical thinking, raises an eyebrow, especially since we know that martial law, which has already taken place here in the United States. I mean, just take a look at the Boston bombing, for example. That was a test run. That was a dry run for martial law in the United States. Martial law was declared. The Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure. There was no Fourth Amendment at that point. You were just taken out of your home. Your wife and child were crying in the background, and we saw the images of this actually taking place. You can do a Google search here, and you can see all the stories, whether or not it's Fox News, Investor Business Daily, The Blaze, Huffington Post. Ohio State University acquires military-styled armored truck with photos. Here's another image of one of these trucks. A mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle is what they're called. So the United States government is arming up. The police are arming up in droves with $600,000 MRAPs. Prepping for nothing, though. We're just expected to believe that these are just regular purchases. Even though the president, that guy right there, even though the president wants your guns and is doing everything he can to stage false flag terror attacks, to create fear in the country so that you'll reach a point where you'll just give up all weapons and give up your right to form a militia here in the United States. You know, they leave that line out in a lot of these new textbooks, your right to form a well-regulated militia so you can defend yourself from a tyrannical government. Here are the Huffington Post reporting on this, a very liberal-angled website and media company. So it's not just coming from Fox News. It's not just coming from the conservative group. It's coming from the liberal mainstream media as well. So I'll just throw it out to you guys. Why is the United States government and the local police department arming up in some of the most aggressive, freedom-loving states in the country? States like Texas, which have more freedom-loving, gun-toting Americans. There's more guns down there than any other place in the United States. Kind of makes you wonder, and if you're a thinking, critical thinker of any kind, you'll kind of put these dots together and realize, oh yeah, economic collapse, oh dollar crisis, oh government shutdown, oh Ponzi scheme after Ponzi scheme, oh bank bailouts, and the government arming up, preparing for martial law. I'll keep you posted on any new developments. I'm Christopher Green. Get this out, make it viral. This is very worrisome, hard-hitting, and in your face. Peace.